Now let's look at the average A function in DAX. Now, the average A function in DAX, similar to the average function, returns the average, that is arithmetic mean of the value in a column, handle text and non-numerical value. Now, the average function handles numerical value, but the average A function, that's the one that ends with an A, handles both the text and also a numerical value. Now, it handles both text and non-numerical value. It handles both text and non-numerical value. But also, you can also use it to you use it for the average of the text string. Now, let's see how it works. Let's see how it works. Let's see how it works. I'm going to share my screen now. Okay. Now let's go to the table view. We are going to use the average. Let's assume the person in this table, customer. Let's see what is going to give us. Now I click on this particular table because I want it to appear there. I go to new measure. Recall the average function gives us just a single value, so I need to click on new measure. And customer. Now, the average function here, using it here to calculate a non-numerical value gives us 0. But when we use it for a numerical value, excuse me, when we use it for a numerical value, okay. Now, when we use this for a numerical value, let's assume I want to calculate this particular let's assume I want to calculate this particular column known as standard cost in the product table. Now, this is the product table. I'm interested to know the total standard cost in that particular table. Let's change this to that. Average A and product, the standard cost for that, and we hit on the enter button. Now you can see it gives us the average standard cost. Now it works like the average function. It works like the average function, but it can also handle text and numerical value. For instance, there is a numerical the standard cost here. The values in this particular column are numerical value. You can also have text value mixed with numerical value. Now, this AVERAGEA function will be able to handle such kind of calculation. So that's what we are in the AVERAGEA will be able to handle such kind of calculation. Also, there's another function known as the AVERAGEX function. The AVERAGEX function in DAX. Now we have AVERAGEX function. Now, that's the average function that ends with X. In DAX, whenever you see a function end with X, whenever I see a function in DAX that ends with X, whenever I see a function in DAX that ends with X, know that that particular function, know that that particular function in DAX, please excuse me. Know that that particular function in DAX, know that that particular function in DAX deals with a table function. Know that that particular function in DAX deals with a table function. Whenever you see a function in DAX that ends with X, know that that particular function deals with table function. Now you can see the average function. Here it has two arguments. The first argument is a table argument. The other argument is an expression. The first argument is a table argument. The other is about expression. So the table argument tells you what table are you interested in. It tells you what table are you interested in, while the other one talks about an expression. What's an expression in that? Now you can see this particular example here. I'm looking for the average of the product standard cost. Now this is a column known as product standard cost in my sales table. In my sales table, I'm interested in the average of a column known as product standard cost in my sales table. I'm interested in that average of it. So I'm going to first and foremost tell that the table I'm interested in, the AVERAGEX. What is the table? So the name of the table there is what? Sales. The name of the table there is sales, and the column I'm interested in is sales product standard cost. So let's try this in DAX and let's see how it works in DAX. Let's look for the average of DAX. Let's see how it works in DAX. Sorry for that. So let's see how it works in DAX. So I'm going to click on new measure because I'm dealing with average. Average is going to give me a single value, and a single value is known as a measure. So I'm going to click on a measure, AVERAGEX. Type average. When you get the average function, now it has two arguments. The first argument is the table argument. Now, either you specify the table. Now, okay, let me delete this first. Now, let me come to this and let me show you the table. I have a table here. These are my tables. I have a table here known as sales. Now, there is a particular column in this table known as the product standard cost. Particular table here known as the total product standard cost. Now, I'm interested in the average. I want to calculate the average of this value in this particular column. I'm interested to know the value of this particular column. So, since average gives me a single value is the standard value. So I'm going to click on what? Measure. So I'm going to click on new measure. Now, that's the new measure. That is the average product standard cost. Average product standard cost is equals to average X. Now, the average X has two arguments. What's the first argument? The first argument is the table function. And what is the table I'm interested in? I'm interested in the sales table. So I'm going to type the table there known as what? Sales. We'll type table known as what? Sales. Then what's the expression? Now, expression in DAX could mean introducing a formula. For instance, I'm interested in what the average function of that particular column. I could say that the sales product standard cost. Now you can see this is a table name and this represents a column. This represents a column and this represents the table name. This represents a table name and this represents what? A column. This represents a table name and this represents what? A column. So I'm telling that calculate the average standard cost in which table and calculate the product standard cost located in the sales table. This is a sales table. So I've indicated the table. When I'm done, hit on enter. So when I hit on enter, that is going to calculate the average standard cost. Going to calculate the average standard cost. So I drag and drop there. I use this tool. Now you can see I have the same value for what I had here using average A. So that's how to use the average X function in DAX Studio. That's how to use the average X function in DAX Studio. So let's see another function. Now let's see another function in DAX. Let's look at the count function. Now the count function counts the number of rows in the specific column. Count function counts the number of rows in a specific column. So now let's see an example for that. We have an example here, the sales amount table. Let's assume I want to calculate the number of rows in a table, in the sales amount table, the column of sales amount. Now this is the sales table. This is the sales table. Now I have a column known as the sales amount. I want to know the number of rows in this particular row, column. So I'm going to use the count function. I'm going to use the count function. So I'm going to use the count function. Now, using the count, the count function is only going to give us a single value, and a single value is a scalar value. So I'm going, that is what a measure. Because I'm trying to measure something, I want to know the number of rows in a column known as what? Sales amount of the sales table. So I'm going to use count sales. Let me just give that one, count sales amount. So I use the count function here. Which table am I interested in? The sales table. Now that's the sales table. Each column in the sales table, the sales amount. So I click on that and type a bracket open and hit the enter button. When I hit enter button, you can see that here and drag and drop here. I'm going to use this tab to turn it around, and that gives me 121K. That is 1,000. Now let me go to the sales amount table. we have the here is the sales amount table. Now this is a table known as sales amount. You can see I have 121,253 rows. 121,253 rows. So when I use the count function, I have about 121K. So we can also come here to start adjusting the value and the rest of that, talking about the decimal place. If you want it here, now you can see increase to 2 decimal place and so on. So you can see the count row function. Now let's see another way of using the okay, I've already talked about the average function, count row function. Okay, let's look at another function. Now we have another function in that known as the count A function. The count A function counts the number of rows in the specific column that contain non-blank values. The count A function counts the number of rows in the specific column that contains the non-blank function. Now, it works like the count function. The count function also counts the non-blank values. The count A function also counts the non-blank value. Now, let's look at the bottom here. We have when the function does not find any rows to count, the function returns blank. Unlike count, the count A function supports volume data type. In other words, the data type that says true or false, yes or no, it also supports that particular type of data type. So that's the area of difference between the count function and the count A function. Both of them are quite similar. Now let's see, we have some example here. We have some example here. So let's see that particular example using the count A function. Now click on, now since the count function gives us a single value, we are going to click on new measure. So click on the table view. When you click on the table view, we go to the column. We are interested in a particular table. Now this particular table we're interested in is reseller table. Now when you go to the reseller table, we have a column in the reseller table known as postal code. Known as what? Postal code. So I want to count the number of rows in the postal code column. You can see at the bottom left-hand side of this particular table, I have the number of rows is 701 rows. So I want to use the count A function and the count function to see the number, to count the number of rows. We call the table name is reseller table, while the column is postal code. Now I go to the report view. Now I want it to appear in that particular table. I want it to appear in this particular table. All I need to do, I have to click on this table first. Then I click on the name of the table, then I click on new measure, because it's going to give me a single value, which is a scalar value. So that is a count A. Now that is a count A. Let's say postal code. Postal code. Now I put my function. Count A function. Okay, I have 5 minutes to go. I'm going to post another link for us to continue. So now the table name is what? Reseller table, while the column name is postal code. So I click on that, type a bracket close, and hit the enter button. So that is now you can see it appears under the table reseller. All I need to do is drag and drop here. Click here. And this gives me 701. That gives me 701, which is known as. So that's 701. When we check the report, we have 701 rows. So you can see that we have the number of rows 701. So that's the count A function. Now let's try using the count function. I'm going to click on the reseller table first and foremost because I want it to appear there. I want the measure to appear there. Since it's going to give me a single value, I'm going to click on new measure because it's a measure. Then I'm going to click on count. Now this time around, count postal code. You see, I want to use a count function. So count, not the count A, count. Now the column I'm interested in is reseller postal code. Click inverted close and hit the enter button. You see, both give me similar output, similar result. So let's check. Let's look at another function. I'm going to log out now. I'm going to end the meeting now. I'm going to post another link on the platform. I'm going to post another link on the platform which we can use to continue. Now, this other function talks about the COUNTX function, the COUNTAX function, the COUNTAX function. Now, this particular function introduces a table. You have to introduce the table. You have to tell that the name of the table in which you are interested in and the name of the column. Now, let's see an example for that. Let's see an example for that. Let's see an example for that. Click on the. Now, this time around, let's go to the product table. Let's go to the product table. Now, in the product table, I have a column known as color. I have a product known as color. And you can see I have various colors. I have black colors, I have red colors, I have silver colors, and yellow colors, and the rest. Then also I have a particular column known as standard cost. So I want to calculate the total standard cost for a particular column, or a particular color of a product that let's assume red. So now using the COUNTX function. So I want to calculate the number of rows, the number of products we have, the number of red products we have, or the number of red products that's available. Now, this is the table I'm interested in. I want my measure to appear inside that particular table. So I click on that product. When I click on the product, I click on what? New measure. Then we talk about COUNTX. Now this time around, I'm interested in what? Red. So click on COUNTX. Now it has two arguments. The first argument is a table argument, the other is the expression. Now this table argument is the table. The name of the table we're interested in is product. So we tell that product. We are interested in the product table. Now, which column in the product table are we interested in? We're interested in the color column. This column known as color, but we are also interested. So I'm going to type the table name first, that's product, then the column name color, because I have a lot of tables here. that DAX will be able to identify which I'm interested in. I'm going to type equals to red. Now you can see another expression. Now when we encounter expression, we only use the name of the table. The expression could be using a function. The expression could also mean something like this. As we go on and on, you will see different ways of using that word expression, what it means. So expression also means something like similar to this. So when I hit enter, that is going to perform the calculation. It's going to tell me the number of red products that is what available. So I click on that and drag and drop there. I use this to change that. So you can see I have 397. I have 397. Okay. So I'm going to log out. I'm going to end the meeting now. I'm going to post another link on the WhatsApp platform so we can use that to continue with the training.